Yeah, before classic servers, this was actually the most useful macro, because every time someone would say back in vanilla, you would start playing the world's smallest violin for that player with the click of a button. It was amazing. Hey everyone, Carnage here from Carnage. Today I wanted to make a quick and easy guide on the Red Paladin's PvP macros. So we're just gonna go over the macros I use, and I'm just gonna explain how to make one and what you can do with them. All the good stuff. So let's go. So first I'm gonna show you what you can do with macros. For example, let's say I'm targeting this player, so I'm fighting this player. I'm having fun with this player, but then I notice my teammate is in trouble, so I mouse over my teammate and heal him without having to deselect my current target. I then notice this horde scumbag here is up to no good, so I stun him, again without having to deselect my current target. So I can just keep doing damage if I have enough holy power. I'm just doing damage, fighting him, and I don't think it needs explanation that that's faster than having to do this. So yeah, that's an example of what you can do with macros, specifically Mouseover macros, which in battlegrounds in my opinion are amazing. Since I got back to the game, I wanted to try out solo queue, so I have arena macros, but yeah, I gotta say I always hated arenas. I think they're absolute dog shit. I mean, Caesar would throw every gladiator for the lions within 5 minutes if they, instead of fighting and killing each other, would started running around pillars like a bunch of pussies. So yeah, I really hate that. If I enter an arena and I have to chase someone around the pillar one time, I'm already annoyed. The second time, I'll just go AFK and grab a coffee and hope the arena is over when I come back, because I don't queue arena to chase players. I join arena to fight and kill players, but I guess that's too complicated, but I digress. Back to macros. How do you make a macro? Well, I'm gonna show you, and I'm also gonna show you the macros I use. You type /macro, what a surprise. It will open up the macro menu or the macro maker, whatever you want to call it. I'm just gonna show you the macros I use. This is my burst macro. What this does, it will cast my burst spell, which is Crusade for me, with my trinket, and if I have a potion, it will also use the potion. So all these three things are now combined into one click. As you can see, pop my wings, also pop my trinket. Arena macro, party 1, blessing of protection. I'm gonna put all the macros in the video and also in the description of the video, so you can just copy them. They work for all classes, and because every class has an interrupt or a stun or a burst. Mouseover. These are all the spells I have Mouseover. Flash of Light, Hand of Freedom, Stun, Interrupt, Lay on Hands, Protection, Sack. This one's really nice because usually when you cast this one it's like this. You have the green circle, so you click one time to get the green circle and then you have to click another time to actually cast it. But now with the macro I can just, because it's add cursor, wherever my cursor is, it will cast Final Reckoning. So that's another time saver. Also Sanctuary. Mouseover. Yeah, those are the Mouseover. Party 1, 2, 3, sack. Interrupt 1, 2, 3. Because if I'm fighting the first arena player, say this is the first arena player in the slot, and I want to interrupt the second arena player, I just click this and it interrupts the second arena player without having to actually target him. So interrupt arena 1, 2, 3. Oh, I also wanted to mention Mouseover macros in a battleground. If there's loads of people fighting, it can be difficult to mouse over the player, but you can also mouse over the player frame. That also works. In arenas, for enemies it's arena 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. For your teammates it's party 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think we covered all the macros, to be honest. Mouseover macros, party macros. Yeah, and there's one macro I quickly wanted to add, as it's not really a PvP macro, but it's, for me it's really useful in PvP, as in battlegrounds I like to be zoomed out as far as possible. And this camera macro is a script that allows you to zoom out a little bit further than you normally would be able to. And I just clicked it this once and that's it. You're good for the whole expansion, or maybe if some patch update screws up your camera distance again to default, click it again and you're good. So yeah, I just wanted to add that one because it's useful in PvP. So now I'll quickly show an example of how to make a macro. Go to new, pick a symbol, give it a name, enter, you come here, hashtag show tooltip, enter, slash cast. Don't know how to call these in English. Target is also exists, yes. Blade of Justice, Blade of Justice. Now this is an example, you don't actually want Blade of Justice as a Mouseover spell. You're gonna drag it to your action bar and you give it a binding. And there you have it. Mouseover Blade of Justice. So yeah, this was a quick and easy guide, hopefully, on macros and specifically the Red Paladin's PvP macros I use. Hope this was useful. Hope you enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.